Focus is quite obviously a vital part of photography and therefore camera craft. But that's pretty much stating the obvious, isn't it? Our modern cameras are literally bursting at the seams with electronics to deal with focus. Modern cameras now give us a multitude of focus points within the camera which look at various parts of the scene. So isn't that enough to always get sharp focus? Well, I'm afraid not, but perhaps I'm being just a little unfair to our camera. It will cope with most situations, but most isn't all. And there seems to be some law of physics that says the pictures that end up mysteriously unsharp always turn out to be the good ones. There are other reasons to get an unsharp or a soft picture. But if we ignore issues for a moment like camera shake or subject movement, then the cause of an unsharp picture could be focus. What you were actually intending to focus on was not what the camera actually chose to focus on. Now we can change the focus points on our cameras, and it's something we need to be able to do quickly. The good news is that it is easy to change these points, and the camera will then focus on the point you selected. The controls for this are designed in such a way that you can change the focus points in your viewfinder without even taking the camera from your eye. All cameras are slightly different, of course, but the button you need will be easy to get to. Here we're looking at a Canon 5D, and the focus point change button is the one right at the top right. It falls nicely to our thumb when the camera is up to our eye. So all we need to do is to press the button and turn the wheel on the body, and the focus points will change. And we'll take a look at that in a second or two. Here we're shown a symbol on the top plate of the camera and on the back, and it's a small oblong icon with a number of dots in it which give us a clue to its operation. As well as being able to see and change the focus points with the camera to our eye, we can also do the same thing while looking at the top plate. Here we can see the 9 focus points inside the brackets at the top, and as we scroll through them we'll see a repeat here that we see in a few moments in the viewfinder. So let's move on now to a typical viewfinder, and we'll look at the focus points. So with the camera to our eye, we use our thumb to press the selection button, and then we turn the wheel on the top, and generally speaking we'll see the center focus point first. So there we have our first choice. As we turn the wheel, the focus point shifts to each of the 9 focus points we have in turn. Ours goes round in a clockwise direction, and the camera will focus on the point we actually select. When we get right the way round to the top, the final change is to show all of the focus points. What I'd like to do here is to select my center focusing point, and let's frame up on a typical shot. I want space in front of the heron because it's walking that way, but I have a problem here. The camera is about to focus on the water, which may be a yard or two behind the heron. I will hear the beep as it locks on focus, but it's not going to focus on the right place. I want focus right on the bird's eye. Now I have 2 options here, but in fact there's a third option called the back button focus, which we'll deal with in another video. My first option here is that I can move my camera and place that center focus point right on the eye of the bird. Then, while holding the shutter button halfway down, it will lock the focus and I can recompose and take the shot. Now, the problem with wildlife in the real world is we may have to wait quite a while for the bird or the animal to get into a pleasing position. It's very easy to lose that half pressure on the shutter button and then our focus is lost. Then if we took the shot, the camera again focuses on the wrong place, about a yard or two past the subject. So what we can do is to quickly change the focus point, and remember this is designed to be done with the camera to our eye. Now I have the focus point right where I want it. This focus point is the top one in the 9 I can select from. There you can see them all in relation to the one I chose. Changing focus point should be something you know how to do, and the way to learn it is simply to use it often. Now let's take a look at my seascape with all of the focus points turned on. A great place to focus with a shot like this is about a third of the way into the scene. So I would be selecting one of these 2 points that I show here. So all I need to do here is to select any one of these and have confidence the camera will focus right where I want it to. But the good news is it will stay in focus for the other shots that I may want to take in the same area. Sometimes having all the focus points selected is particularly useful if you're taking photographs of pets or maybe children. Neither of those 2 subjects seem to stay still for very long, and selecting all focus points may reduce the chances of your subject missing one of those points. If you're shooting landscape, seascape, or maybe even portraits, you may be better with individual focus points.